welcome back to the Life Scope channel. On your way in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It is appreciated as always. So today I wanted to come on here and talk about these dirty D pastors that are going around and they are spreading diseases. Now, I came across this article that I was reading of a Texas pastor by the name of Ralph Douglas West II, who has to pay $2.45 million to a lady he met online after giving her herpes. So the associate pastor of the Church Without Walls in Houston, Texas, Ralph Douglas West II, was convicted of violence, deliberate infliction of mental distress, and false concealment. Now, a jury found on Thursday that West gave the victim genital herpes after they first connected on Facebook 5 years ago, following a 3-day trial and 6 hours of deliberation. Attorney Sean Murphy for the woman stated, "You can't fix it. She's got it for the rest of her life," according to Click to Houston. The church was founded by Douglas's father, Pastor Ralph Douglas West, and now has over 24,000 members spread over 3 locations. So the victim knew she had got herpes from the pastor because when they met up in 2018, afterwards she had suffered an outbreak and then went to immediately go get tested, and it turned out that she had herpes. And she also had been previously tested and she didn't have herpes. So the pastor was the only one that she came in contact with. So when she confronted him about it, the pastor admitted to her that he had herpes and that he got it from his son's mother. So this is what I have to say with people that's like going around and they spreading diseases, because that seems to be a thing nowadays. I don't know if you've seen a lot of news articles or videos of people literally getting locked up because they did not conceal their status to the person who they chose to have sex with. Now, I'm sure you have heard the saying that hurt people hurt people. So it seems like in a lot of cases, when a person contracts a disease from someone, they may not have known. I'm going to probably say for the most part, they didn't know the person who they were laying down with gave them something. And then once they have it, instead of saying, okay, well, I'm going to be cautious, well, I'm going to make sure that I give an innocent person the benefit of the doubt as far as telling them what's up, they turn into the same person who gave it to them, which to me is very disheartening and is sickening and is selfish. Because like I said, you're not giving these people an option. And what did the other person do to you? All they wanted to do was be with you naively because, you know, they chose not to use protection. And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I hope that everybody would. But even when you are in committed relationships, somebody could cheat and then, you know, bring something back home that they didn't have. So you just have to be really cautious all across the board. Now, me personally, you know, I'm not gonna sit up here and just tell you that I'm not gonna react violently. I'm just saying, because it's like if people would just be straight up, folks could navigate or move better. But when you try to hide something, then don't be shocked, don't be surprised at the person's response, because, you know, you gave them something they couldn't get rid of. But now it seems like quite a few people are going to jail, from what I've seen on certain articles and videos, and they should go. In fact, if it was up to me, they'd get more than just going to jail, but that's another story. However, just keeping up with this Texas pastor, so some of his congregation have chosen not to abandon him or abandon that church, and they have spoken out in regards to keeping the family in your prayers and to forgive. Now, here's the thing. I didn't see, unless I missed it, I didn't see anything where the pastor, the associate pastor, had asked the woman for forgiveness. So when people go around and say, oh, just forgive them for you. Here's the thing with forgiveness that I think people are missing. If the person who did you wrong didn't ask for your forgiveness, are you supposed to just willingly give it to them freely without them asking? Because it seems like when you do that, they haven't learned a lesson. They may do whatever they did again. And you literally have shifted the blame. You told them basically when you say, I forgive you, it's like, okay, don't worry about it. You're forgiven. You are easing their guilty conscience. So just in my opinion, if a person didn't come and ask for your forgiveness, I don't think that you should be quick to give it out. Now, people can do what they want to do, and I know that every situation is different. And like I said, I haven't seen in the article that I was reading where the associate pastor asked for that from the lady. But his congregation, or at least one of the people that was speaking out, immediately going to, let's forgive. Let's don't vilify the family. And it's like, what? How is that going to help him? Because he already knew he had something he couldn't shake. And instead of telling that woman, he gonna go ahead and sleep with her and then give it to her. And then all he has to do is come up out of that money. Now, yeah, it's a lot of money, true indeed. But honestly, I think he should spend a few nights in jail off of that. And I guarantee he probably is going to be asking for her forgiveness then. Anyway, I want to move on to another Dirty D pastor. Now, this is from years ago. And in the midst of me looking up this article about the Texas pastor, I came across this old article from Alabama in regards to another pastor who was spreading diseases.
One Demetrius McFarland did not hold back when he revealed to worshipers at Shiloh Baptist Church on September 14th that he contracted HIV in 2003 and discovered in 2008 he had AIDS.
The church was very accepting of Reverend McFarland. They were willing to help him in any way possible.
But once the pastor with 23 years of leadership started revealing more and more on the following Sundays, members and leaders say they realized McFarland had crossed the line. In a resolution read aloud at church, leaders shared and Pastor McFarland confirmed to us he admitted drug use, mishandling church funds, and what members say was the ultimate shocker, described by church deacon Nathan Williams Jr.
It concealed from the congregation of the church that he had knowingly engaged in adultery in the church building with female members of Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church while knowingly having AIDS.
This past Sunday, McFarland was removed as church pastor. Still, church members say some congregation members are afraid to come forward, and many are concerned.
Who does this to people? And you're the leader. Who does this? I know a lady who is a member of the church who said she had slept with him and that she didn't want this to go public. And, she's running out now trying to find out, if there's anything wrong with her. And my heart goes out to her because she's been a wonderful, wonderful member of the church.
Deacon Williams says in his 70 years at the church, this is the biggest scandal the church has ever experienced. Williams says leaders have obtained legal counsel and is now focused on moving the church forward.
Our move is going to come directly from the council. We want peace, and we want to do the right thing legally. We're not looking to hurt him. We're looking to get the church back. That's our thing, to get the church back. That's what we want to get the church back. That's it.
But some members say they want justice.
I believe that he should be put on, go to court, and let the judge decide if he should go to jail or not.
So this pastor has the nerve to preach at his church, his congregation, for 21 years. And like I said, this story is from back in 2014. So he had HIV, like his status was around 2003, 2004. It turned into full-blown AIDS by 2008. And then this comes out, or it gains a lot of traction about around 2014. So he is literally telling his congregation all of his dealings and how he even slept with women, just knowingly committed adultery. So based off of all of that, Reverend Juan Demetrius McFarland was dismissed from Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church in Montgomery, and on October 5th, it was by a vote of 80-1, but he had refused to leave the pulpit and continued to preside over services on Sunday. So around the Tuesday following the decision to have him removed, the deacons who attempted to do so, they end up having to file a complaint requesting the court to grant McFarland to leave or force him to leave. Now, he had even went so far as to ask the judge for his job back. And this is what I'm saying with people who feel like it is not okay to let the person you are sleeping with know your status, because he knew what was going on. He clearly was a vulture. You know, no real good-hearted pastor is going to do anything like this, but he is a dirty deed pastor, so therefore he is with all of the mess, he is with all of the negativity, he is with all of the drama. Now, I was doing a little digging because nothing has been updated per him just basically being kicked out of the church. Like, I didn't even see anything to where the women filed complaints. Now, I didn't go too far into that, but I didn't see anything that stated that some of the women who he infected filed complaints. Maybe they were too ashamed, especially if they were cheating on their spouses with him. That could be a possibility, but that's not necessarily always the case. They probably just was too ashamed to do so. Now, it was mentioned in the article, or one of the articles that I read regarding this situation, that spreading of diseases in Alabama is or was a low-level misdemeanor. However, I think since time has passed, and if the women did choose to maybe come forward to check into that, because I couldn't find any information stating that the pastor or the vulture is unalive. So I'm assuming that he still is living, and this could be considered attempted murder. Like, there are a few cases where I had stated previously, people are going to jail knowingly infecting people through sexual contact. So this could be seen, and I believe that's literally how it's gonna go from now on, because there's a lot of cases that have picked up that is considered attempted murder if you do not disclose that information with a person who you are sleeping with, and you're choosing to sleep with them unprotected. So I also was reading some people who were saying, well, the women got what they deserved because they engaged in adultery, or they were sleeping with their pastor. Like, who is trying to sleep with the pastor? So they got what they deserved. In some cases, it could be looked at as in that way, but I'm not going to necessarily blame them all the way. They did play a part in that, especially if you were cheating. You know, it's like that grass is greener, and then when you get over there and you find out just how wrong you were about the grass being greener on the other side. So with the women or whomever his victims are, they are partially to blame. Like, you have to take accountability for that. And that could be another reason why they're not coming forward or they didn't file complaints against him. But who literally goes to bed with someone just thinking you might have something? Especially if a person presents themselves well, clean up nicely. Like, you just don't think in terms of, well, this person, he looks well, he smells nice, he's charming. You don't think that there could be anything wrong with him. And it's the same thing with women too. So being that a lot of us are visual creatures, when we think of someone who is disease infested or just riddled with a lot of damage, we see them as being sloppy, not presenting themselves well. It alerts us immediately that something is going on. But if a person does not present themselves in that way, it can automatically fool you. And it's almost like you have to be very careful who you are engaging with or talking with, or to at least make sure that you are covering the bases. Do you have anything before going there with them sexually? It has also gotten to the point to where if you are sleeping or choosing to sleep with someone that you have met, and maybe you haven't known them for a long period of time, that you both go get tested at the same time and then get the results. So nobody can fool anyone in terms of, oh, I'm good, everything's fine. No, you both got tested at the same time. Your results will come in at the same time, and you're going to find out at the same time if there's anything going on with you before engaging in sexual contact. And it's like, it didn't used to have to be that way, and most of the time it's not going to go that way. People see what they like, they're turned on, they're going to want to enjoy each other. But it seems like because people are using sex as a literal weapon, now you have to go through different types of measures in order to ensure your safety. Now, all of this could have, for the most part, be prevented with a condom. So I'm not understanding, like, grown-ass people. I mean, these people are not 20. They're not even 30. They're grown-ass people. We get it. You don't want to use it. But you don't know that person for real. And if you are cheating, and you cheating with a pastor, how crazy is that you're thinking that because he's a pastor and he's supposed to be the leader of a congregation, you would think that he is the one that's being safe. And he's the least of probably anybody in his congregation that's being safe. He was on drugs. He was having sex with married women. So he was doing a lot of stuff. And he was also misusing funds. So, like I said, I didn't see any information about him being unalive. In fact, what I came across, he's not living in Montgomery. I think he's living in like Gainesville, Georgia or something like that. So nothing other than getting fired happened to him. Now I'm not the person to try to be wishing things on other people. That's not what this is about. All I'm saying is if there is a violent outcome, I'm not surprised. Because things like that, like, you can't play with people's lives. And when people do not just simply say what it is and try to see whether or not if that person wants to really be with you, because you never know, a person could really want to be with you, then to me, all bets are off.
Pastor sits in jail accused of knowingly giving another man a sexually transmitted disease.
News 3's Margaret Kavanaugh spoke to the pastor's brother and sister tonight. And Margaret, what are they saying?
They say they don't believe the accusations and say their brother was being extorted by someone. They wouldn't speak on camera, but they say there's a lot more to this situation. 40-year-old Andre Leaphart remains locked up in the Newport News jail. Today, he was arrested for sexual battery with intent to transmit infection. Newport News police say their investigation began back on April 12th when a Hampton man told authorities that he contracted an STD from Leaphart, who knew he was infected. 2 months later, Leaphart was arrested. News 3 met up with his siblings. They didn't want to speak on camera, but they say their brother has always been honest about his medical situation with those closest to him, and they don't believe the accusations. His neighbor was stunned to hear about the arrest.
That's a surprise because to me, he is a very good person.
Teresa Redfern says he is a fantastic neighbor.
Once we removed that tree, he even helped us, and he didn't have to with money.
Leaphart is an associate pastor at the Fellowship United Church of Christ in Chesapeake.
He always says hi. I know he goes to church on Sundays.
We reached out to the church. Church leaders confirm Leaphart works there, but declined to comment on the case. And Leaphart is expected back in front of a judge July 11th. In the studio, I'm Margaret Kavanaugh, News 3.
After I saw the last video of Dirty D Pastor number 3, I went to watch some YouTube videos of people that are living with HIV or AIDS. Now, those videos were really hopeful and optimistic to watch because, for one, they didn't know that they had the disease, and when they found out, they weren't on, I'm going to give it to somebody else or not tell them my status. I can respect that, and I feel like it puts people's minds at ease. We also get to see how it's not the death sentence it once was for many people, so I applaud them for being upfront and honest about it. However, when it comes to these pastors, they knew about their diseases or STDs and continued to have sex with people. So Andre Leaphart's story goes back to 2017, and I saw a video of him speaking on what he went through and how it drove him to be a decriminalization advocate. And I was wondering, what exactly is he trying to get decriminalized? To my understanding, he is working with the Elizabeth Taylor Foundation to decriminalize having to tell sexual partners your status if it's undetected. Even if there is a 0% chance that the virus can't be transmitted if you are undetected. Your partner or whoever you decide to have sex with should still know. Now, not only did I watch the video that Leaphart made, I also watched another news video where it was said that the pastor asked his boyfriend not to go to the authorities. So, Leaphart had been a closeted gay man dating both women and men. I'm going to say this. Having HIV is not a crime, but not telling someone who you are about to be intimate with, which could possibly lead to a shorter lifespan, is or can be deadly. Also, if we are going to use that same non-disclosure logic, then people shouldn't tell their partners if they are married, have other children, or anything else. I'm going to leave it right there. Anyway, let me know what you think, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and go get tested. Until next time.